Okay, friends, I am Dr. Sawan Didi from JT Arts Science and Commerce College for Women, Malegaon District, Nasik. Hi, today's topic that is a agents of denudation. So, what is a denudation? Denudation involves the processes that cause the wearing away of the Earth's surface by moving water by ice, by wind, and by waves, leading to a reduction in elevation and in relief of landforms and of landscape. So, overall, studying of this denudation, that is the process of weathering, involves the breaking of and decaying of exposed rocks. So, while studying to this weathering, overall effect of disintegration, wearing away, and removal of rock materials, there are three types of activities which are being activated. So, weathering weathering of rocks depends on several factors. It depends on certain climatic elements such as the intensity of insolation, rainfall, frost, and changes in the temperature of air. Different characteristics of rocks such as hardness, chemical composition, texture, and joints influences the rate of weathering. Vegetal cover and burrowing animals also affect the degree and nature of weathering. So here the three types of activities which are shown in this figure, those are a weathering, mass wasting, and erosion. So on the upper course, a weathering which is seen by various actions as by temperature, as by freezing actions which are being acting part, yeah, by chemical weathering, as oxidation is there, yeah, hydration is there, yeah, carbonation, and by biological processes. Such actions which are being acting part on the upper part, yeah, on the surface of the earth, as the mass wasting, the material which is eroded from the upper part and which comes down, and hence a erosion is seen at the lower part of the relief. So impact of weathering and mass wasting on the landscape. This is the bedrock and the fragmentation of the bedrock which is a disperse, and hence a mass wasting can result in open scar on this landscape which is the accumulation of debris. Yeah, Grand Canyon is an example of this slide. Next, weathering destroys the bedrock and fragments it into smaller components. So exposed bedrocks is weathered due to various actions. Opening in bedrock surface allow weathering in transfer deeper, as the weaker part which fractures and joints and cracks are developed, and so the cracks gradually become wide and the rock ultimately break into smaller blocks, fragments, yeah, grains. So opening in bedrock surface allow weathering to transfer deeper, and hence a deeper part goes on fractured, and hence the rocks are bad conductor of it, all of you are knowing, and do not carry heat to the lower layer of the rock. Thus the outer layer of rocks that are exposed to the sun, yeah, due to the water, yeah, due to the ice, yeah, due to the wind also. So these are the actions which are being going on continuously by physically, by mechanically, by uh, biologically. So these are openings of microscopic fractures which are seen, and hence here the five types of openings are seen. Those are microscopic, which are numerous occur in space between rock crystals. So the rocks are crystalline in uh, which occurs, and joints are formed, and hence a cracks resulting from stress that do not show appreciable displacement. Faults break in bedrock with displacement due to lava, also gas opening in cooled lava, and some of the places solution cavities, holes created by percolating water, mainly near to the rivers, yeah, wherever water which is present. So weathering and rock openings, here we are observing this slide and how the rock structure which has been seen. The importance of jointing: almost all lithospheric bedrocks is jointed. Block separation evident since weathering emphasizes fractures. Joint systems are seen. Large joints that extend through large distances and thicknesses are called master joints. Which are those agents? Those agents are most are atmospheric due to oxygen, due to carbon dioxide and water. These are the major agents. Temperature changes also. This is one of the part to change the fragments of the rocks. Next one, that is a water penetration in bedrocks openings. Water penetrate from the holes, and hence a change in the rocks. Yeah, freezing actions. These are also a one of the action which is being acted. Next one, that is a biotic agents. As a biological formation, as plants and animals are also the agents of biological weathering, and they bring about both mechanical and chemical weathering of rocks. There are three principal categories, which are those: number one is a mechanical, second one that is a chemical, and third one that is a biotic. We will see that the principles which are categorized. Number one is a mechanical, and here weathering which disintegrate rocks without changing their chemical composition is known as mechanical weathering. It is mainly carried out in arid areas and on exposed mountain summits. It is carried out by changes in temperature, by the freezing action of water, and by rain. Temperature changes. The actions which are being occurred due to the temperature change, mostly in desert regions, the day are very hot and nights are very cold. The diurnal or daily range of temperature is great. Due to intense heat, the surface rocks exposed during the day, while they contract during the cold nights, the successive expansion and contraction of the rocks cause joints or cracks to develop. These cracks gradually become wide and the rocks ultimately break into smaller blocks, fragments, or grains. So, here rocks are bad conductor of heat and do not carry heat to the lower layers of the rocks. Thus, the outer layer of rocks that are exposed to the sun expand more than the lower layers. Due to alternate expansion and contraction, the outer layers become loose and peel off from the main mass of the rocks. in the form of thin concentric cells. This type of weathering is known as exfoliation. What is meant by exfoliation? Some rocks are made up of different minerals, and the rate of expansion and contraction of these minerals varies widely due to their differential expansion and contraction. Complex strains develop inside the rocks and fractures develop as these rocks, due to this mechanical weathering, they are seen as a onion. So exfoliation means the outer part which is removed by this mechanical weathering, and hence the rate of this type of mechanical weathering is always maximum in tropical and subtropical deserts where variation in temperature are very great. It also occurs in the higher mountain ranges and plateaus like the Tibetan Plateau. Now, second action due to the freezing of water. Mechanical weathering occurs due to freezing action of water. Rainwater percolates into the cracks and joints of rocks, and it gets frozen by the low night temperatures. When the water freezes, it, its volume increases by about 10% and it requires more space. This gradual widening of the joints and results in the breaking of the rocks. Angular fragments of rocks separate and the bed rocks. If this action takes place on the sloping land, large blocks of rocks are dislodged from their original place. The sharp angular rock fragments accumulate at the foot of mountains or on their slopes. They are known as screes or talus. Such actions by frost is effectively seen in the temperate lands in winter and in high mountains. Next, due to the rain also plays an important role in chemical weathering, but it has little effect on mechanical weathering. When the rain occurs in heavy downpours, large raindrops loosens the rock particles. Now this was the mechanical process, mechanical weathering. Now second one, that is a chemical weathering. Weathering that disintegrates rocks by changing their chemical composition is known as chemical weathering. In this process, decay or decomposition of rocks takes place mainly by the actions of air and water. So in this, chemical weathering involves the various processes. First process, that is a oxidation. When rain falls through the atmosphere, the oxygen in the air gets dissolved in rainwater. When this oxygen mixed water falls on the rocks, which contains mainly iron compounds, oxidation takes place. Due to oxidation, the ferrous state in which iron commonly occurs changes into the oxidized ferric state and turns into a brown or yellow crust which breaks down easily. Second process, that is of a hydration. The chemical union of water with a mineral is called hydration. The process of hydration is more pronounced in the case of aluminum bearing minerals such as feldspar. Feldspar breaks down when attacked by rainwater and results in the formation of clay. Granite is mainly composed of quartz, mica, and feldspar. Due to hydration, feldspar changes into soft kaolinite. Third process, which is a carbonation process. Like oxygen, carbon dioxide from the air also gets dissolved in rain water and rainwater becomes a dilute solution of carbonic acid, which has a pronounced effect on some rocks. Due to this process, calcium carbonate in the limestone get dissolved and the insoluble components of these rocks becomes loose. This process of carbonation is more pronounced in the limestone or chalk areas of the humid regions in the world. Next process, that is a solution. Due to this solution, some rocks disintegrate by simple solution. For example, rock salt and gypsum. Next process, that it is desilication. Due to this chemical action, the silicate minerals of rocks break down and thus silica is removed from the rocks. The main rocks become soft and are easily broken down by the other agents of weathering. So here, due to all these chemical processes, the rocks either become soft or soluble in water or produce chemical compounds of a larger volume. All these results accelerate the breaking off of the original rock masses. So the rate of chemical weathering is always maximum in areas experiencing high temperatures and high humidity. These areas mainly lie mainly in the tropical lands of the world. Now the third weathering, that is a biological weathering, which is also called as a biotic one, as living beings which are present on this earth. Plants and animals are the agents of biological weathering. They bring about both mechanical and chemical weatherings of rocks. So, mechanical weathering is mainly brought about by the growing roots of the plants and the burrowing of animals. As the tree roots grow, they exert considerable force, due to which the cracks of the rocks become wider. Due to this wide cracks, more water and air can enter, which brings about chemical weathering. So the rocks becomes weak and their particles are loosened by burrowing animals like moles and rabbits. Chemical weathering by plants and animals is mainly brought about through organic acids produced by them. Plants produce humic acid, which brings about decomposition of various minerals, leading to the breaking of rocks. The acid content of soil water increases due to the presence of vegetation cover. It brings about chemical weathering of calcareous rock. Earthworms bring large amount of finer particles of rocks to the surface of the earth in the form of dust. So, earthworm is also one of the action which is being acting part as a biological weathering. So, the difference between weathering and erosion is here, as apart from the effect of weathering and gravity, earth sculpture is carried out by different agents and attacks the surface and also remove the material resulting from their attack. So these agents are running water, moving ice, wind and waves. So their sculpturing work is known as erosion, and it includes the transport of weather material. So here we have discussed the agents of weathering. Thank you. Thank you very much.